Mike Tyson said, come here, let me talk to you for a second. 50, he pulled me outside the door. The nigga pushed the door, then the door opened, he came outside, he said, yo, I used to hate that nigga. Mike Tyson is like, yeah, he all the way up here, Tim. He all the way up here.
50's a nice guy, but he acts like he's the murderous.
Yeah, he's really a real nice guy.
Yeah, I know, that's why he hides his heart and tries to be, motherfucker, I'll kill you.
Renowned rapper and entrepreneur 50 Cent is widely recognized for his fearless demeanor, often challenging even the most formidable figures in the music industry without hesitation. From Jay-Z to Diddy and Suge Knight, he's faced off with some of the most intimidating names. Moreover, his close bond with the tough-as-nails Eminem has solidified his reputation. However, amidst this unyielding front, there exists a singular individual who seems to evoke a sense of trepidation in 50 Cent, someone he undoubtedly considers the sole person capable of instilling fear in him.
Mike Tyson said, come here, let me talk to you for a second. 50, he pulled me outside the door. The nigga pushed the door, then the door opened, he came outside, he said, yo, I used to hate that.
Celebrated for his captivating beats and exceptional rap skills, 50 Cent's reputation extends beyond his musical prowess. Particularly, he's renowned for his sharp and cutting verbal jabs off camera. If there's one skill he's mastered, it's the art of delivering biting remarks with an air of authority. 50 Cent possesses an uncanny ability to lampoon individuals for a multitude of reasons. Once 50 himself said, "I've gained respect from the public, but I think some people were afraid of me from the very beginning." The trophy would mean that maybe the kids would want to be 50 Cent, but kids bought Get Rich or Die Tryin', or it wouldn't have been so successful. But they didn't want to give trophies to it. I mean, I could just play the first record. In fact, it appears that nearly everyone within the music industry has encountered his unrelenting wit. While some have chosen to embrace their predicament, others have chosen to stand up against his barbs. Yet 50 Cent's barrage remains unstoppable.
You watch that guy that just has zero fear and say, yeah, we can get him, he's tough, we're gonna have a hard time chewing on him.
The saga involving 50 Cent and Suge Knight is destined to remain a topic of conversation in the annals of hip-hop history. This real-life narrative delves deeper from the standard fare of music industry rivalries and conflicts. Undoubtedly, Suge Knight's intimidating presence has sent shivers down the spines of numerous artists, producers, and executives who dared to challenge his dominion. However, amid this atmosphere of apprehension, there emerged a rising star unafraid to confront him head-on, none other than 50 Cent.
It's funny because he showed up in the club video shoot. He came, it was like, Suge's outside, Suge's outside. Everybody like, he was running, dropping, like, man, everybody going out.
Upon recognizing that his ability to offer protection and wield influence could yield financial gain, Suge ventured into the role of record label manager. Astonishingly, Suge orchestrated deals with some of the most prominent figures in gangster rap, including Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and the iconic Tupac. With uncanny timing, Suge managed to connect with these artists who were situated within Death Row Records, positioning himself strategically in the right place at the right time.
Suge Knight controlled it all. Everything was in his name. He distributed the money, he passed it out, he gave you what he felt you should have. We got a lot of money, but it may not have been what we supposed to have.
His prosperity as a manager and co-founder of a label stemmed from his willingness to achieve outcomes regardless of the methods employed. This approach swiftly granted him substantial power and sway over the Los Angeles rap music landscape. However, his trajectory took a darker turn as he became entangled in a high-profile homicide case and engaged in a public feud with Vanilla Ice, which inflicted damage upon Death Row Records. Once Snoop Dogg said, recalling his old days, "I was working against the devil, and through the grace of God, Master P and Priority Records put a deal together that was suitable for me." Following the setback, he embarked on establishing a new record label named Aftermath Records, a pivotal move that would reshape the course of rap history.
I want y'all to say what's up to the new Aftermath representative. Yes, Lord! Anderson Paak, baby. Welcome to Aftermath.
Subsequently, Dr. Dre established Aftermath Records as an imprint under the Interscope label. Initially, the label welcomed Eminem as its signee, a move that proved successful. However, on Eminem's endorsement, Dre extended his support to a budding artist from the streets of New York. Hailing from the challenging neighborhoods of Queens, specifically South Jamaica, Curtis James Jackson, professionally known as 50 Cent, emerged onto the scene with raw potential. His upbringing was marred by adversity, and he learned to fend for himself from an early age. Growing up in such circumstances, 50 developed a perspective of the world as a harsh environment, one that demanded resilience and the willingness to stand one's ground.
That's not gonna happen. The major record companies are not gonna spend that much money on their project, so they gotta figure out how to create campaigns that mirror that.
Eminem's discernment proved accurate, as he recognized 50's determination. Impressed by 50's Guess Who's Back CD, Eminem engaged in a conversation with Dr. Dre. Eminem shared his belief in 50's untapped potential as an artist. Dr. Dre heeded Eminem's advice, and before long, 50 found himself signed to Aftermath Records. This pivotal moment marked a turning point for both 50 and Suge Knight. Joining forces with Dr. Dre and Eminem propelled 50 into the realm of major players in the industry. He gradually ascended the ranks to become a hip-hop superstar, a transformation that brought along considerable responsibilities. The responsibilities substantial enough to reshape his very identity.
That's why you've never heard me say anything negative, bro. You see what I'm saying? And also connected to like M, because
around that period, Suge had recently emerged from a 5-year incarceration and was determined to mend the fractures in his record label. Little did he realize that his most formidable contender at the moment was none other than Dr. Dre, his former label artist, and Dr. Dre's newly enlisted protege, 50 Cent. Suge Knight was acutely aware that if he aspired to achieve any semblance of success akin to his Death Row Records label, he needed to establish his authority. Crossing paths with 50 Cent was an inevitable outcome, and it was in 2002 that their first encounter occurred.
And they'd be like, Suge's outside, and everybody'd be like, yeah?
What do you want?
It changes a little bit.
50 Cent was on set filming the video for his iconic track Into Club, a song that would ultimately propel his career to new heights. Surrounding him were his entourage of close associates and friends, all present to support the video shoot. Yet, amid the production, the atmosphere suddenly shifted when someone among the group alerted them that Suge Knight had arrived. This unexpected turn of events injected a certain tension into the situation.
Yeah, somebody said, Suge Knight here. I was at the bar, Game was there, he was shooting in the club scene.
Reportedly, Suge Knight approached 50 Cent accompanied by around 30 individuals, catching everyone off guard. In a swift and assertive manner, he conveyed his presence and his intent to closely monitor the unfolding events. Subsequently, sensing the weight of the situation, 50 Cent's entourage quickly disbanded, giving way to the imposing figure of the West Coast mogul.
Suge looked at him, and he took a puff of his cigar, and he blew it out, and he did like this, and he left.
Confronted by the imposing gang before him, 50 Cent exhibited a remarkable absence of fear. This lack of trepidation could be attributed to the hardships he endured during his childhood, navigating challenging circumstances in his neighborhood, and surviving several gunshot wounds. These experiences undoubtedly shaped 50 Cent's resilience, enabling him to stand strongly against adversity without yielding to pressure.
Suge's outside! Everybody like, it was running, dropping shit, like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this. Everybody like, whoa, running. It was just gone.
With that, the encounter concluded. Suge may have anticipated a submissive reaction from 50 Cent, but what ensued was quite the opposite. Evidently, 50 exhibited no signs of intimidation in the face of the formidable group before him. Following this incident, Suge realized that engaging with 50 yielded no advantages, while 50 proceeded to create one of the most unforgettable music videos in history. The reasons behind Suge's appearance on that specific day remained a mystery. Although Eminem possessed some insights, he said, a lot of the talent, they don't want to give him credit, but a lot of consumer base opens up when they see themselves in it. It is black culture, black music, but you can see multicultural people participating and becomes broad enough to be something more people appreciates and enjoys on the highest level. Eminem is a big part of this. You have guys who impact in different ways. Even Vanilla Ice had impact. The encounter proved fruitless, and subsequent to this encounter, 50 Cent and his entourage departed. Undeterred, 50 Cent proceeded to create one of the most enduring rap music videos in history. The motives behind Suge's sudden appearance on that day remain certain, It's possible that he intended to convey a message or perhaps aim to intimidate 50 Cent, suggesting that succeeding in the industry would entail challenging him. Nevertheless, 50 Cent exhibited unwavering courage, standing his ground despite the intimidation tactics.
No action, no business. Every is running, is getting up out of there. Every New York, whatever you name, all these that was like the they write books.
Fans of 50 Cent also greatly appreciated his fearlessness in the face of someone who had gained notoriety for their gangster reputation. One of them wrote, "What people fail to realize is that 50 is one of the most intelligent men out there. Yes, he is a true gangster and a great artist, but the most impressive characteristic about him is that he is a pure genius. He can outsmart and outthink people in almost any situation." Another one added, "It's about time for a 50 Cent career renaissance. He's always been one of the realest, and the fact that the man was shot in the freaking face and can still spit rhymes is amazing. I've always had so much respect for him and think he's highly underrated." Undoubtedly, he stands as one of the most fearless rappers in the entertainment industry. Nevertheless, there is still someone who brings fear to 50, who is none other than Mike Tyson. Former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson has held the reputation of being one of the most formidable fighters in the heavyweight division. On the other hand, rapper 50 Cent shared an anecdote about encountering an enraged Mike Tyson.
He said, "Look at this shit. I'm in a Cadillac," right? He pointed to a Cadillac. It was the shit was fly. It was a Cadillac truck.
During an episode of Lil Wayne's Young Money Radio, 50 Cent recounted an incident where he believed that Mike Tyson was angry with him, leading to his apprehension about Mike. Reflecting on the event, he mentioned that Tyson had initially invited him outside for a conversation. He said, "We at the embassy, Mike Tyson said, 'Come here, let me talk to you for a second, 50. He pulled me out that door. That guy pushed the door. Then the door opened. He came outside and said, 'I used to hate that guy.'" He further mentioned that his concerns stemmed from the alteration in Tyson's voice when addressing him. He noticed that Tyson's typically high-pitched voice deepened significantly. The change in tone made him uneasy as he remembered, "I used to hate that. I'm sitting there like, oh, I have to fight this."
This nigga say, yo, I used to hate that nigga.
I can't fuck with you!
I said, oh shit, look, I'm like this, look. So I'm sitting there going, I got to fight this nigga, right?
Further in the conversation, 50 Cent disclosed that Tyson's anger stemmed from having to travel in a Cadillac. He said, "Look at this shit, 50. I'm in a Cadillac." He pointed to a Cadillac. The shit was fly. It was a Cadillac truck. But to Mike, the shit was some bull, because it was a Cadillac, right? Nevertheless, he went on to mention that Tyson ultimately departed in the same Cadillac truck, which left him visibly unsettled at the thought of encountering Tyson in a physical confrontation. Several individuals have come to understand through difficult experiences that provoking a former heavyweight champion, particularly one with Tyson's intimidating reputation, is ill-advised. Tyson made headlines recently when a video of him striking a fellow passenger on an airplane gained widespread attention. The incident occurred during Tyson's flight from San Francisco International Airport to Florida.
Hey, Mike, come on. Let's go stop back. Let's lose the horse, man.
Witnesses reported that Tyson began the flight by engaging in a friendly interaction with fellow passengers, even taking selfies with some of them. Nevertheless, a persistent individual seated behind him repeatedly attempted to engage Tyson in a conversation and provoke him. Growing increasingly irritated by the constant prodding, Tyson eventually requested the passenger to cease the behavior. However, the passenger persisted despite Tyson's request, leading to a forceful response from Tyson in the form of a fierce altercation.
Even though they didn't press charges and I was in the right, from a moral perspective.
Absolutely.
Tyson explained that the passenger he ultimately punched had been taunting him, aligning with reports from TMZ Sports indicating that an allegedly inebriated individual had been harassing Tyson. Despite Tyson's repeated appeals for the person to stop, they persisted and even went as far as hurling a water bottle at him. Tyson expressed regret for placing himself in that scenario by choosing to travel on a public flight.
I shouldn't have touched him.
No, Mike, we agree that you were right.
This is how Tyson's potential for aggression and unpredictability can manifest. It seems that a similar situation occurred with 50 Cent, and 50 Cent's apprehension might have arisen from Tyson's unpredictable anger and aggression. Perhaps 50 Cent was aware that he could have faced a similar outcome as the passenger, potentially getting physically confronted by Mike.